Welcome back to Capitol Report After Hours. We are happy to have Congressman John Larson still at the table with us. And John, we had a little Augie and Ray's. We didn't actually eat it. We're talking about it.
Should have brought it here.
If I had known how much you liked him, I would have brought him down.
And during the break between the broadcast and After Hours, we were kicking around the President of the United States. But there must be a subset of people at Augie and Ray's who you go in there. They're saying they like Trump, or no?
They do. No, that's true. Well, here's what they'll say. They'll say, hey, look, we don't agree with the tweeting all the time. And I'm not saying I like the guy, but maybe he'll turn over the table down there and something will get done. I think the sentiment amongst the American people is that they feel that Congress itself has been gridlocked for so long that they'd like to see someone shake it up and get something done. And that's why, as we were saying before, he's generally reviewed as a disruptor. But look what he does. Yesterday, he had his arm around the steel workers of America, talking about tariffs, driving what would be the typical Republican Party in response from Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell entirely the other way, and having Rosa DeLauro from New Haven come out and strongly endorse his plan. You can't get any more extreme than Donald Trump and Rosa DeLauro.
Well, look at the North Korean thing. I mean,
and
the
that
North
was
Korean
giant.
thing, which is people have been, making fun of him or whatever. What the North Koreans have been playing us, both Bush, Clinton, whatever. I think they've been playing us beautifully. If this actually leads to something substantive, I don't know if it will, but he got this guy to come around and break bread with the South Koreans seriously, so maybe he is crazy like a fox. I don't know, but...
I don't know if that's quite the way to describe it, but he has operated outside of the norms.
Right.
And is it that for so long we've operated outside of the norms that he seems to have a way where he says, you think you're crazy? I'm just as crazy as you.
I'll show you crazy. You haven't seen crazy yet.
And
well,
frankly,
it worked for Reagan. Don't forget, when Reagan first came in, as you know, you were...
Take down that wall.
Well, but the Russians, we've now learned from archives, and a lot of the others were absolutely paralyzed about him. And Nixon, when he was president, wanted to make the other guys think that he was just... Well, we know he was a little paranoid, but as it turned out, it worked out in several cases because they were just a little bit worried.
It took Nixon to go to China,
right.
And I also think, on your earlier segment, it's going to take Trump to go to the NRA, and I think we're going to produce.
Which he seems willing to do. I mean, he sat down with a whole group of folks and said, called out Pat Toomey and said, "Don't be afraid of the NRA. I got your back." And then he had lunch with them the next day.
And I think the one thing. So Florida last week passed something on gun control, which was clearly a step in the right direction. Do you get a sense that the Republicans in Congress are actually moving in that direction on guns?
I do, but the shame of what's happening in Congress is that we have never taken it to a vote. Imagine since Sandy Hook in the House of Representatives never having a vote. Look, if you're, unless there are strong supporters of the NRA, but 76, back then even, I think it's up to 90+% favor universal background checks on guns. The guy on the Democratic side, Mike Thompson, Vietnam veteran, hunter, said, look, we have to have a very narrow focus that's simply background checks and focus on those background checks so that we keep guns out of the hands of people that don't deserve them.
I don't disagree on this. I agree on the background check. But the problem is, what does that mean? And in an era where we have so much data going around, being sold freely in the open market, people's privacy, it is a huge deal breaker for a lot of people who have a general paranoia, well-deserved in some cases, of government, especially the federal government, having this power. So I agree to your point. Yeah, I think almost every gun owner I know is all for it. They don't want guns in the hands of people that don't deserve them, believe it or not.
Threatens their right.
And the other part of this, which
vote it.
But here's the other thing. You have to, as a society, get on this mental health issue. And how do we take people off the streets in a quick manner where they're protected in court, but take some of these people that are waving out in the open saying, I'm crazy, I'm going to do something bad here, and yet we let these folks wander around unsupervised or untreated. And
but you also see the Republicans want to cut the state workforce. Those are state workers that provide services through DMS in that state. So, I mean, if you want to really invest in mental health, I mean, we have to stop railing against these workers that also provide those services.
Let's pivot to transportation. One of my favorite architects, Daniel Burnham, an urban planner, one of his favorite quotes is, make no little plans because they do not have to stir men's blood. And I think your plan to do a tunnel under Hartford, 84 and 91, that's a big plan.
We went out and we had a great conversation with Elon Musk. We're going out next month to Seattle to look at what they've been doing. And
I'll be an Irishman with a shovel if you need to dig that hole. I'd live by real close.
Well, actually, the improvement it would make to the I-84-91 interchange, which is generally cited in engineering manuals as one of the worst in the country.
It's horrible.
And when you have
destroyed Hartford too.
When you have 50, it destroyed Hartford. It divided North Hartford from the rest of the city and separated the city from tunnels. Now, these are the kinds of things. New York has like 3 or 4 different proposals for tunnels. So our DOT has got to come to the recognition. Now they're paying lip service right now to the concept and the idea, and rightfully saying, well, show us the money. We'll have Bill Schuster up again here for the 5th time talking about the necessity for us to fund these and also to toll them so that you have ongoing maintenance of this, especially when you have more than 50% of the traffic that travels through Hartford or on that 8491 are not destined for Hartford. And if we repurpose those 3 bridges and make it livable communities, bingo. The economy boosts up. We get rid of the mixmaster in East Hartford. The economic development alone will far pay for this. We've seen this happen even with all the ridicule in Boston.
The big dig.
Exactly.
Will you get your environmental friends to go along?
Yes, because
I'm holding you to that.
Well, and not only that.
Find something in the bottom there that's
when we talked with Musk, he was saying like, well, he's not sure if the technology they use would work here, but it would be great to put in join it with his hyperloops, which are running out of airports. So with Richie Neal in Springfield, why not connect Springfield, Hartford to Bradley in terms of the ease to get there, which then would make the next leap to Worcester and New Haven, and then ultimately Boston and New York City a reality.
You have to think big.
You have to think big.
Yeah, but hopefully by then cars will be flying, so we won't have to worry about it.
The Jetsons.
Well, that was interesting, Chris, because what Musk says that they came to the determination that that would be a worse disaster environmentally and otherwise. So that's why he decided that a vertical solution going underground was far better and far environmentally safer. So that's why I think we're going to get
a lot of Irish and Italian to work on.
From Musk's perspective, we should all be driving Teslas anyway, right?
All right, guys, we'll have to wrap it up there. John Larson says no to flying cars. We're not going to see flying cars. Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. I'll see you later.